Come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
Okay, so I originally was going to do a different tone for this video, and you'll be able to see that tone in the title and thumbnail of this video. But we're gonna go positive. We're gonna say that everything is coming to Genshin, alright? Because Genshin has said that, hey, we're looking into different ways for daily commissions to be completed. First thing that we're gonna talk about is that the resin system's gonna be changed. You see how I have maxed resin right now? I've been maxed for about an hour. I don't think I'm gonna use my resin today. That's how much I don't want to play Genshin right now. This is basically what Star Rail just had, but then they updated it to be 240 resin, and then if you capped out, you can get 2,400 more, depending on how long you didn't play. Yeah, it's pretty good. And by the way, the reason why I'm saying 2,400 is because when I clicked on the reserve, it said you get 2,400 points. When I logged into Star Rail, I had to literally question whether this was temporary or permanent, because I was so used to Genshin. So, yeah, here, I think this is definitely a feature that Hoyoverse or Genshin is going to copy. Genshin is definitely going to copy this. I feel like when you make such a drastic change, and it's just like showing up the other version of you, that other version has to accommodate, right? That other version has to actually do something. So I have hope that this is coming to Genshin, but you know, Genshin might get it a little later. Obviously, it's already late because, you know, Star Rail did it first. But we might see it in a couple future updates. So now another feature that I want to talk about that might come is being able to select and say, hey, I want to do said waves of enemies. So actually, you know how I said I wasn't going to use, you know, resin, you know, let's go. So you get into this screen. So possible rewards would be shifted up slightly, and also I could definitely see them adding another difficulty. That is something that I could see, because Star Rail, as it stands right now, is a little bit better in their artifacts, because I don't have the maximum artifact domain unlocked, and I still get guaranteed 2 artifacts per run, which, you know, it's double the cost. But even if it adds a 3rd artifact, that immediately, on the last stage, which it probably will, there's no reason for there to be a last stage if it doesn't add a chance to get a 3rd artifact. You know, that could definitely be something that happens, and it could, because think about it. The last time we've gotten a new stage for the artifact domain was AR-45. Like, that was the last time. Can you be serious? Like, they have, like, a whole bunch of AR levels to go. That's another thing. We could get some more AR levels, which, you know, it's good. We're fine with AR-60 because honestly, I thought that we would get more adventure rank levels, but I'm starting to lose hope on that. That just really does not seem reasonable at this point. So, as you can see here, like I was saying, there could be multiple waves of literally this, right? So, you would just clear multiple waves. Now, at first, I was like, they could probably just, you know, add it without doing the multiple waves. But the more I think about it, if they want to just copy Star Rail directly, then they have to add multiple waves. But if they wanted to, you know, just let us clear it once, and then at the end, you know, maybe claim the rewards a couple more times, because I'm gonna be real, doing 8 runs of that is very boring. Like, really? Oh wow, 8 runs, let's go. Like, this isn't interesting at all. At all. It's not interesting. It really is not. Right? Yeah, there we go. 1 artifact, and it's a defense. So let's go talk about that artifact pity. Now, this is something that I just don't see why Genshin hasn't added it yet. They've had almost 6 months to add it, and I would figure that 4.0 would have been a great update to add it in, but they haven't, so I don't know. Now, in Star Rail, there's an artifact pity. This is something that desperately needs to be added to Genshin, because so many times I can farm for a character but not be able to pull the final like crit rate circlet or something that I need for it. Because if it's a new character, like let's say, you know, Kuki, right? Let's say Kuki just came out, but I didn't have Paradise farmed, or whatever the set is called, right? And I didn't have that farmed. I would have to farm EM pieces for that all and then I would have to make a video for Kuki. And also, that's just not good for players, right? But overall, that takes me a while to actually get Kuki. But overall, that takes a while to actually get Kuki built. We'll talk about, the other, thing that takes a while in a minute. But here we have the artifact strongbox. Now here, we directly sacrifice artifacts. However, in Star Rail, what we do is we salvage our artifacts, get some weird dust thing, and then we put them in here, right? This is where they get put in. In Star Rail, there's also another thing to this. There would be something right here where it's like, hey, choose which artifact you want. So I could choose a timepiece. I could choose a circlet. I could choose a goblet. That is something I wish they would add, right? Now, for the same amount of artifacts, maybe not. Maybe, it takes 5 or 10. 10 is the exchange rate for Star Rail right now. Imagine I need an Electro Goblet, right? What are the chances that I get an Electro Goblet? It's already 1 in 5. And then the main stats, they've confirmed that damage bonuses, artifact rates are rigged for main stats and stuff. They're rigged. They've confirmed it. They literally directly stated it, basically. Okay, so I get 1 artifact. Okay, if I wanted it to be crit rate, it's crit damage. I'm surprised we got crit damage. But if I wanted it to be a crit stat, right? This is good, right? I gambled and I got it. But if I wanted this to be a crit rate, I have nothing I can do, right? And then I just gotta wait to farm more. But what if I just saved up like 10 and then I use the artifact pity, which the artifact pity is a resource that you can only get 2 of per update, so it's kind of like crowns. So yeah, if I wanted this to be crit rate, right? I just got a crit damage one. I can't use this. It doesn't even have crit rate as a substat. But with Star Rail's artifact pity, which is something that I could see added to Genshin, I feel like we need it. Or guys, we need it. Add it to the battle pass. Add it. Come on, guys. You've had a while to add it, and I'm surprised they haven't added it. So I could have just used an artifact pity along with 10 artifacts and gotten a crit rate circlet. I don't care about the substats. You know how important a crit rate circlet is? That's important if I didn't have one. That would be a make or break for the character. I would be using a 4-star over a 5-star if it meant, you had the crit rate stat, right? You'd be able to choose the main stat. You can't choose the substats. We've been begging for this, right? We've always been like, give us an artifact pity. But then Star Rail actually gives some sort of artifact pity, and now Genshin should definitely accommodate. It's like they took every single feedback that we had for Genshin, and they just put it into Star Rail without actually changing Genshin. It's like, why? Do you not realize that people will care more about your game? Alright, this video is supposed to be positive. So that's something that we could see for Genshin. So let's say they give 2, right? An update. That would be good. You could build 1 character in update. You would have all of these, which would be easy to get, and then you would just use the artifact pity to grab these, right? Why are you on an attack percent? Oh, because Jean, right? Yeah. I really feel like the artifact pity could change the game and make it a lot better, just to really play with characters, right? Just I could build a couple characters and make the artifact farming a little less, hard. Let's see. All of my characters from Chi-Chi downward, all of these characters, well, actually no. Chi-Chi, and then from who downward? From Ningguang downward, I would say I don't really have these characters built, which is, I don't have the option to build these characters, right? I would say that. So, why is that? It's 1, the artifacts, right? I need, certain artifacts for certain characters, and I don't want to just replace or take the artifacts off of Zhongli to build another character, right? I don't want to do that. I want to just be able to, use a subpar artifact on a character that I don't really use. But on top of that, there is another reason. This weekly boss mats. Now, I would love to try. I mean, this doesn't affect me at this point because I've done all the weekly bosses, right? So I've been saying for a while that we need free weekly bosses. I think that still can come at some point in some update. I think overall, a free weekly boss thing, you shouldn't be forced to do it. Hey, there's loads and loads of weekly bosses. We're going to get a new one for Fontaine. Let's go. I think it's in the book over here. Let's look at our weekly bosses. This is going to... It's awful. Truant's domains. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weekly bosses. And I'm sure that doesn't include the wolf. it doesn't include the wolf. So we have 8 weekly bosses. Now, I'm saying do this for free. But something that Star Rail does differently is they allow you to farm one boss 3 times. And I think Genshin could do that easily. And, you know, the stamina halving cost would be good. This is something that I think is something that could be tossed around. Possibly just improve this to be 0. And as long as this is active, you can fight the same boss over and over. And then you can just fight the other ones. Maybe just like as a bonus. But at the same time, this is probably the least likely one to come, because there's no, like, you would have to take away something in order to actually add this feature, which I think would be better. But overall, I think the community would, you know, there would be controversy over it being like, I liked it, and I didn't want, you know, to have my stamina costing. We could see this go away. We could also see being able to do all the weekly bosses go away, which would be bad. Then again, the amount of resin that you have to use, you would have to combine this with the free. You have to combine this with the free resin, because if you're doing 8 weekly bosses, you can only do 3 for 30. That's 390 resin, which with the new update might work. Just saying, might work. Now, let's talk about the biggest change and the final change. The weapon banner. Alright, so huge thing for the weapon banner. Star Rail literally has higher rates. Star Rail has a 0.8% on the weapon banner, right? So you can get a 5-star at 0.8%. However, for this, you only have 0.7. 0.7 is not good enough. Right? 0.7, you know, that is the difference, all right? That's the difference between possibly you pulling it and you not, right? That makes a huge difference. And for the epitomized path, I mean, just delete it. They added it because the weapon banner didn't have a pity, which was something that was good, right? It was the last change that Genshin seriously made that was for the community, I would say. This happened around when Jula came out, so it happened quite late, honestly. But it did happen, which was good. But now it needs to be improved. It needs to be deleted, and it needs to be a 75-25 split. Because now, Star Rail is at the 75-25 split with a 0.8% to pull. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I think overall, we could see most of these changes come to Genshin. Seeing them say there's going to be other ways to get daily rewards gives me hope that they are looking at Star Rail and trying to mimic their features, right? Maybe possibly without, like, copying directly their features. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.